Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the last topic of this chapter in chemistry, that is in chapter 4, which will be polar and non-polar covalent compounds. We all know that covalent compounds do not carry any charge, but there are certain conditions where even the compounds are covalent in nature, they may carry charges. So in what conditions will they carry charge, and when they are not going to carry the charge, we are going to see that. So depending upon whether the compounds carry charge or they are electrically neutral, compounds, that is covalent compounds, can be of two types. It can be polar covalent compounds or non-polar covalent compounds. Let us see what are these compounds. Polar covalent compounds are those in which the shared pair of electrons are not at equal distance between the two combining atoms. Once again, the shared pair of electrons are not at equal distance between the two atoms. And because of this, such compounds will carry positive and negative charge. So how will the shared pair of electrons won't be at the equal distance between the two atoms? That we can understand with the help of electron dot structure. And it happens because the combining atoms are not identical, where one atom, that is one of the combining atoms, have more tendency to gain the shared pair of electrons towards itself. So as a result, the shared pair of electrons will not lie at the equal distance. We have examples of polar covalent compounds like hydrogen chloride, ammonia, even water is also example of polar covalent compounds. On the other hand, non-polar covalent compounds, where the shared pair of electrons will be at the equal distance from the two combining atoms. I repeat, the shared pair of electrons will lie at equal distance between the two combining atoms, because most of the times if the two atoms are identical, then the shared pair of electrons will experience equal force of attraction from the two nucleus of the combining atoms. As a result, the shared pair of electrons will lie at the same point, that is at equal distance from the two combining atoms. We can also say shared pair of electrons are equally distributed between the two atoms. So the molecule is symmetrical and it will be electrical neutral because it won't carry any charge in it. We have some examples where you find the nature of the covalent compounds can be non-polar, which is hydrogen molecule, oxygen molecule, chlorine molecule, and in these three cases we find the two combining atoms are identical. That is, in hydrogen molecule we find both are the same atom only. So the force of attraction gets neutralized, and as a result shared pair of electrons lie at the same distance only. You can see oxygen also, there are two identical atoms. Two oxygen atoms, they are identical. Again the force of attraction will be same. Chlorine also have the same identical atoms. But in carbon tetrachloride, you find though the combining atoms are not identical, where chlorine has more tendency to gain the shared pair of electrons, still the compound will be non-polar because it won't carry any charge. So let us see, using the help of the structure, that electron dot structure, why certain compounds are covalent in nature, that is polar in nature, and certain compounds are non-polar. Let us see with the help of the electron dot structure. So we can first see about polar covalent compound, where I told you that shared pair of electrons will not lie at the same distance between the two atoms. and the examples I told you will be HCl. Let us see hydrogen, you know it has 1 valence electron and chlorine has 7 valence electrons. When we draw the electron dot structure, we find hydrogen and chlorine both are attaining the stability, and this is the shared pair of electrons. Now because chlorine has more tendency to attract the electron towards itself, the shared pair of electron will be more close to the chlorine atom. You can see the distance. Here you find the shared pair of electron is far from hydrogen but is very close to chlorine atoms. It is not lying between the two atoms, otherwise it would be a non-polar covalent compound. Here the shared pair of electrons are more towards the chlorine atom, so as a result this will develop slight positive charge and this will develop slight negative charge. As we know that an atom with an extra electron always carry negative charge, chlorine we find the extra electron is towards itself, so it will have a negative charge. But we indicate with a delta negative, that is slight negative charge, whereas hydrogen will have slight positive charge. So we can see that in hydrogen chloride it is not neutral, but as a result of the shared pair of electrons not at the equal distance, one will have positive charge, the other will have negative charge. And these charges will be free to move once hydrogen chloride ionizes in water. That means when we dissolve hydrogen chloride in water, then the charges get separated and we say hydrogen chloride gets ionized, where the two charges will be now free to move. Let us try to understand with another example of H2O. Once again, if you see hydrogen and oxygen, they are two different atoms, where oxygen has more tendency to gain the shared pair of electrons. So oxygen will now have a negative charge, whereas hydrogen will have positive charge. So when you draw the structure, we find this the structure, and the shared pair of electrons can be shown moving towards the oxygen atom. Because as I said, oxygen is having more tendency to gain the electrons, so it will carry negative charge and the two hydrogen atom will have positive charges. So water is also polar in nature. We can also see ammonia. This can be the structure of ammonia, where you find nitrogen being more electronegative in nature, that it has more tendency to gain the electrons. All the shared pair of electrons will be moving towards nitrogen atom. As a result, nitrogen will have negative charge and each hydrogen atom will have positive charge. So as a result, we can say ammonia is also polar in nature. But when we come to this side, that is non-polar covalent compounds, we find the shared pair of electrons lying between the same, that is between the two atoms. Let us see. We can see the example of hydrogen first. Hydrogen molecule. When you draw the structure of hydrogen, we know each hydrogen has one valence electron, and to become stable, they will complete its duplet. That is, hydrogen will take one electron from the first hydrogen atom. Even the first hydrogen atom, to complete its duplet, will take one electron from the other hydrogen atom. Now it is this shared pair of electron that I am talking about will lie at the same distance. Since both the atoms are of same nature, both will have the same tendency to gain the shared pair of electrons, as a result it will lie in between only, and we can show the two shared pair of electrons exactly at the same distance between the two atoms. So no hydrogen atom will have any charge developed on it. It remains neutral. Chlorine, for example, Cl2, we know chlorine has 7 electrons. Again, each chlorine atom requires 1 electron to become stable. This is how it will complete its octet. Again, this shared pair of electron will be lying at the same distance. Since the nature of the two atoms are identical, they are same. So we find shared pair of electrons will be exactly at the same distance between the two atoms. So such compounds where the shared pair of electrons will lie at the same distance between the two combining atoms will be non-polar covalent compounds. And you should remember one thing, that non-polar covalent compounds cannot dissolve in water, because water is a polar covalent compounds. For example, if you want to dissolve carbon tetrachloride in water, it won't be dissolved because carbon tetrachloride is non-polar and water is a polar compound. Wherein if you want to dissolve hydrogen chloride in water, it can easily be dissolved. The reason is both are polar in nature. So polar always dissolves in polar compounds or polar solvents, and non-polar compounds always dissolve in non-polar covalent solvents. So I hope you have understood about polar and non-polar covalent compounds. Since it was the last topic, we have completed the chapter, and now I'll give you the question answers the very next day. But you have to learn polar and non-polar covalent compounds, as they are very important for the exam. Thank you.